Hello everyone, welcome to the garage. Today we're going to be talking about the Iceco VL45 single zone fridge. We're going to be talking about the fridge, some of the specifics about it, but also I want to break down how exactly I run it in my setup. Stay tuned. So just real quick, the fridge is 47 quarts or 45 liters, which is where it gets its name. Net weight of 50.6 pounds, dimensions of 27.4 by 15.8 by 19.2, and it's all going to be here on the screen. I got this straight from Iceco's website. Now, the fridge itself is a good size for if you have a Jeep Wrangler or something similar with that kind of trunk space. Here's a picture of what it looks like in my Jeep, and it fits just perfect enough to where I can run it long ways, so I still got room for other stuff. So in the box, whenever you order your Iceco fridge, it comes with an AC and a DC plug-in for it. Here's my DC plug-in. Honestly, my AC plug-in is somewhere in the house. I've misplaced it. But it also comes with this manual that tells you everything about it, every error code that it might pop up, and just some good information to have on hand. The cord is about 8 feet 3 inches long with the tape measure that I have, and that's the one that I've got. And at the time of this recording, the Iceco fridge that I have is showing that it's $559 on Iceco's website. You may be able to find that somewhere different for a lower price. I will link it down in the description below. All right, so just some quick features about the fridge that I personally liked. Compared to the other models, this one was the most efficient one that they had. It was also cheaper than some of their other ones due to the latches and the way that it closes and everything. Was just more efficient because it doesn't have to where you can open it up from every side like some of their other models. The reason I went with this fridge over the other ones that Iceco has, or any other brand to be honest, the compressor has a 5-year warranty on it, so you're covered for 5 years regardless of what happens to it. Compared to the other models that they offer, this one was the most efficient due to it only opening on one side and the heavy duty latches that it comes with. The other ones were a little more efficient, but also a little more pricey because you can open it from different sides. You can open it from the front, the back, the other sides. And to me, that just didn't seem like something I really needed. So I prefer the more efficient model. And just because I like this color a lot better, I went with everything that I had. Got the 2 latches, opens up one way on these hinges. That's about it. One feature that I liked and something that I looked for because I knew the way that I was going to set it up in my Jeep was I was looking for these vents. I wanted to make sure that it had plenty of ventilation from where I was going to put it in my Jeep. But that was really important to me because I didn't want the compressor and the motor and all that to overheat and then cause problems later on the trails. It does have on each side spring hinges for the handles so they stay down but then they stay out of the way. For your temperature, you have up and down arrows that goes up and down in increments of 2 degrees until you get down to 39, which has 38, 39, then jumps to 41. As you go down past 38, it jumps back down to 36. Why exactly this is, I'm not for sure. Maybe they just thought 39 was the perfect degree. I'm not for sure. Anyways, you have your compressor speed from minimum or maximum, depending on how fast you need it to cool down. Usually I find that minimum works just fine, especially with how efficient this model is. Battery protection, which we'll get into just a minute. You have low, medium, high. You have your DC, your AC, and then you have your 15 amp fuse. So now for the inside, you do have one LED light over here that I find is pretty efficient in lighting up this whole area, especially when it's dark at night. You have all these removable baskets for easy cleaning. One favorite feature of mine is this little basket you have here because as you've seen, you can put it over top of the bottle and it'll kind of hold it in place there, especially if you have a few lined up. But you can also take it out and put it here in the side for a little wall. And if you have bigger bottles, such as wine bottles or whatnot, they will fit down here in this space. One really cool feature about this Iceco fridge is it offers the battery protection, low, medium, high. And what that does, it just monitors your starting battery. And if your starting battery gets too low to start your vehicle, it'll actually shut the fridge off so that you can start your vehicle next time you get in it. All right, so you've picked out the fridge you want, you've bought it, and now it's time to try it out. So you run it all day through the trails, It's finally time to set up camp at night. Now you got to figure out how you're going to power this thing through the night into the next morning. Here's a solution that I found that works the best with this fridge. So this is a 1500 watt power station that I actually bought from Walmart for $150. Actually works pretty good. I do have a Jackery box coming. It's in the mail right now, so we'll have a review on that later. We'll see how that works. But so far, this has worked really well. But I run this while I'm doing the trails. I have this plugged into the Jeep, so it's charging all day. If I'm going to set up during the day, and really I used this a lot over at Overland Expo East last year, and it worked phenomenally. So what this is a Lunar Sun 200 watt solar panel that folds completely out. And what I did is I just put it on top of my Jeep, and it worked really well in Virginia, but we had a lot of sun then, so I'm excited to see how it works back here in the Kentucky trails. I actually haven't had a chance to use it yet, but it folds all the way out, 200 watts of power, and there's a solar controller that permanently mounts into whatever vehicle that you're running, and that has an app that you can actually monitor your usage and your intake, so that you can make sure that you're going to have power all day long and that you're not going to have to come back to spoiled food. So while I'm on the trail, I will have the fridge connected to the starter battery running it. I will also have my power station plugged in to charge it up, and then when I get back to camp, I will continue to run the fridge on the starter battery for a good while, and that app will also monitor my starter battery, so it kind of tells me if I need to switch over or not. Um, Kind of just have this for a backup in case my starter battery does go low and this panel it's getting dark, or the shade is making it to where it's not intaking enough to actually keep maintaining the battery. So far, like I said, when I was in Virginia, I didn't even have to hook it to the power station at all. I ran it through the night on my starter battery, and it did just fine. I did have we was in a field, and I had the 200 watt solar blanket on it all the time, just to make sure that I didn't have to ask somebody for a jump. Being my first time going to a expo, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't that guy. But so far, this setup right here works perfectly. And like I said, I do have the Jacker box coming, so we will see compared to the Walmart $150 one compared to Jackery. I'll let you know what I think about that one as I do a little more testing on it. So do you have to buy a fridge to Overland? Absolutely not. There are plenty of people that still just use a cooler with ice and they get by just fine. The fridge is going to be for when you're ready to step up to the next level and start doing longer trips without going back to town so much. So it's really up to you when you want to switch over to a fridge. Now that I switched to the fridge, there's huge benefits that I didn't realize that I was lacking with the cooler. So I really enjoy my fridge. But that's going to be up to you. Are you going to buy one? Let me know. So that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you would, like and subscribe, it really helps, and I'll see you next time.